Welcome back to Wanting to Racing. Today we'll be working on the Audi A5 again. I already got it jacked up for what we're doing today. Today we're going to be doing transmission service right here. All the fluid you can ask for. Filter, pan gasket, and plug for the pan. Also doing the rear diff. And this is just coolant to top it off after I got it running. Haven't done that yet. In order to do the trans service, you need to have a special pump. So I have this here, and an adapter for the pump, so I can get in the pan. I'm also doing this parking brake motor. It's been yelling at me, so I need to get this replaced. And light bulbs for the reverse lights, which this car also yells at me for. So let's get started. Alright, underneath the Audi A5, here's the transmission pan. This is a cross member, cross brace. All this has to come out. So, first of all, let's drain the pan, which, where is it? It's on this side. Here's the drain plug. So we need to take this out, get all the fluid out. First, let's take off this cross brace and the cross member. Get that out of the way. Alright, as far as the X brace goes up front here, there's 3 bolts on each side. And it's the same on that side. These are an 18mm, so let's go and take these off. There's a little mount right here for the power steering line. So for this power steering line, there's a 10mm nut right here. And take that off, and this line should come off the X brace. Now, let's get this cross member out of here. Alright, on the transmission cross member, there's 4 bolts up here, 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. And then there's nuts holding the cross member to the mount. These are M12 triple square, and these are 13mm. Also, when doing this, it's not a bad idea to support the transmission up so it doesn't come falling down on you. And there's the cross member out. Now we have to remove the mount so we can have access to the pan bolts on this side. These are smaller, so let's try M10. These are M10. Alright. With the mount out of the way, now we have full access to the transmission pan. Now let's go drain it from the drain plug, and then we can take the whole pan off. As far as the drain plug goes, it's a 5mm Allen. So let's take this out. Put the drain pan underneath it. And let that drain out. Alright, now that it's just dripping out of here, we can take the pan off. Be prepared though, there's still fluid inside of here. Once you take this off, it'll start pouring out. The bolts for the pan are T40 Torx. And there's the remaining fluid from the pan. Just let that drain out and then completely remove this. Alright, without the pan, now we can have a better look at things. Here's the filter that I'm also replacing. Should just pop out like that. There's a little gasket O-ring thing right here. It appears it got stuck in there, so I need to get that out. But yeah, once I get this out, put the new filter in, put the gasket back on, or the oil pan, and then we can do the fill procedure. That's where the filter goes. I'm gonna see if I can get the old O-ring out. Oh, I tried a different pick and I got it out. So let's put the new one back in. And then reseal this pan and start filling it. As far as the filter goes, simply just push this back into place. Just like that. Alright, as far as the pan goes, I'm going to clean it in here, bottom, take this whole gasket off, remove the magnets, clean those. This here is the fill. This is where you put in fluid and it sets the level. So basically, once all this is inside the car, you get the adapter for your pump and it hooks in like that. And then you pump fluid in. Alright guys, pan's clean. Have the gasket right here. This is an aftermarket gasket, but it'll work. Let's go ahead, put this in the car, and then fill her up. Alright, underneath the car, clean up the surface of the gasket. Just get all the leftover fluid that dripped out. Now that that is clean, it'll line up your gasket. If it's an OEM gasket, you really don't have to do this part because it just sits on top, but I have to line this up. Alright, that should be good enough. Let's get back underneath and bolt her on. Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, now that all the bolts are in, the torque spec is 11 foot-pounds, which isn't a whole lot. So I'm going to get that done, and then we can put the X-brace back in and the cross member. So we get the jack out of the way, and then we can put fluid in it. When you do this, kind of go in a X pattern or a star pattern. Now that all these are snugged down, put that X-brace back in, cross member, and make sure this one is tight. Don't forget that. Then we can fill it. Reinstalling all of these parts is just reverse order of removal, so it's pretty easy. Just make sure all the bolts are tight. Now we put the cross member in. Put the nuts on that hold the cross member to the mount, so you don't have to hold it up while bolting it on the car. Make sure these are tight. Definitely don't want your trans falling out. Alright, now with the cross member on, we get the jack out of the way. Now we can put the X-brace on. Oh.
Well, that door's getting worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
I get rally bug out of the way.
Not yet.
Alright, well the key, because I got to go back to the job, the keys are on my desk.
Okay.
If you need to back it out here. Alright, I'm going to run back over there.
Alright. Where is the 10mm nut? There it is. All right, X brace is in, cross members in. Now we can fill it up with fluid and do that fill procedure. Back underneath the car, go take the fill plug out, put a pan underneath, and then you can put the adapter, hook that inside like I showed you earlier, and start pumping away. Green pan underneath. And here is the adapter piece hooked up to your pump. And there it is. Now you can just start pumping away until fluid starts dripping out of here. And then cap it off, and I'll show you what to do after that. What's good about a pump like this is it builds up pressure as you pump. So you can just let it do its thing. And just wait until it starts dripping out. Alright, as you can see, it's starting to drip out, so you can pull this out. And then let the remaining drip out. Cap it off, and then we'll get inside the car. Alright, now in the car, start it up, let it run in park for 20 seconds, then shut it back off. Alright, after 20 seconds, turn it off, get back underneath the car, remove the fill plug. Put the adapter piece back in. And fill until it starts dripping again. Alright, as you can see, it's starting to drip out. Now, after this, you start the engine with the plug still out. Go ahead, start the engine. Alright, because this is pressurized, it continued pumping fluid in there. But as you can tell, it's dripping out. With everything still running, you can take this out. Cap her off. With the car still running, go put your foot on the brake, keep it there, and run through the gears. See, it's yelling at me about that reverse light. Run through all the gears for about 10 seconds each. Right. Sorry. All right, now put the car in neutral. Raise the RPM to about 2. Keep it around 2 for about a minute. Alright, after doing that for at least a minute, put it back in park, leave the engine running, and get back underneath it and take out the fill plug. Alright, back underneath the car, take out the fill plug again. As you can see, fluid did not drip out this time. Put all this to the side. Put your adapter back on the pump. Stick this back in there. Make sure it's actually in there. There we go. And pump until she starts dripping out again. Alright, as you can see, it's dripping out. You can cap it off, and this process is done. Alright guys, transmission service is done. I used up nearly 8 quarts. Not all of it went inside the transmission. I heard that these take around 6, but I used up around 8. That should be good now. Now we can get started on the rear diff and a few other things. Alright, now for the rear diff, I'm using Luca Moly 7590. I put in the pump bottle, the same one I used for the transmission service. I cleaned it, so it's fine. But there's just no way to fit this bottle underneath there. I'll show you that here in a minute. But yeah, let's get underneath the car and service the rear diff. Alright, as far as the rear diff goes, Here's the drain, and the fill is right in here. This is why I put in the pump bottle. There's just no way in getting that other bottle in here to put fluid in. Anyways, always remove the fill plug first, then the drain, because then if you can't remove the fill and you've already drained it, you're SOL. Also, while I'm back here, I'm gonna look at the parking brake motor on this caliper because I had a code for it, and I found that it's not plugged in. So I'm going to plug that in and hopefully it clears that code. And that's just one less problem with this car. Alrighty, so loosen up the drain plug. Now that that's loose, now we can take out the fill plug. Both of these are 8mm Allens, so I'm gonna have to use a actual Allen wrench on this one because my socket doesn't fit in. Just let all that drain out and then cap it off and fill her back up. Alright, while the rear diff is draining, I'm going to replace these reverse lights. Basically just unclip this, and then you have to take out these here, just unscrew them, and unclip that, and you'll have all this. These come off, and this is the light. Basically, this just screws in there, and then you can have your bulb out. Alright, back down at the rear diff. That's finished draining out, so go cap her up. Get your adapter in there. Actually, make sure it's in. Here we are. Start pumping. Pump until that drips out, and then put the plug back in, and this job is done. Just gonna let that finish dripping out, and then I'm gonna put the plug back in, and that's it for today. Alright guys, everything I wanted to get done today is done. Let's take this thing for a drive. Old rally bug. Alright guys, I'm going to drive this around for a few minutes and I'll get back to you when I get back to the house. Alright guys, I'm going to say that this was a success for the Audi. Everything is working as it should. Still got a little light right there for the headlight adjustment, but I'll take care of that one of these days. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more. We got plenty of projects going on, especially that bad boy right there. Alright guys, thank you.